My name is Shigeru Tateno, 34 years old, single, an ordinary office worker. I work reasonable overtime hours and earn a reasonable salary. If I had a girlfriend, I would have no complaints. Unfortunately, God didn't give me a chance to have such a thing. Well, marriage isn't everything. I glance at the face of the woman sitting next to me. Her name is Kiyomi Imari, and she is working silently while looking at the screen. She looks calm and cool, and when I talk to her, she only gives me blank response without changing her facial expression. In addition, she's a model-class super beauty, so it is hard to talk to her, and she's treated as a person beyond reproach. By the way, even I, sitting next to her, have never talked to her about anything other than work. My phone is ringing. Imari-san?
Huh?
She glances at the phone for a moment, and then she holds it as if to pick it up. Then, as she stared at the screen, her expression turned pale. What's wrong?
My daughter has a high fever.
Daughter? What? Imari-san, you're not even wearing a ring. Were you married? What about your husband?
I don't have a husband. What should I do? Hey, what should I do?
Imari-san is so upset. It's weird to see her like this. If she doesn't have a husband, is she a single mother? Calm down. Where's your daughter now?
She's at my parents' house.
How far away?
It's near my house, at the Lovekoi station. It takes about an hour by train, and I need to take a bus too.
Okay, I'll drive you home. It'll probably be faster. As it turned out, it was a good decision to drive her there. We arrived at their parents' house faster than the train. Plus, the train was delayed due to some kind of train inspection. Now, I'm waiting near her house, asking her to call me if anything happens.
Tateno-san!
Looks like she's here.
My daughter has a high fever. Exhausted and coughing, please help!
What about an ambulance?
Well, my mother says calling an ambulance is overreacting.
Okay, well, I'll drive her to the emergency room. Strangely enough, there's a certain segment of the population that does not want to call an ambulance. I guess they are concerned about how others see them. It is a waste time here questioning whether to call or not to call.
Don't worry. We'll be at the hospital soon.
They let me go inside the house, and I quickly returned to my car with her suffering daughter in my arms and started driving. I looked in the rearview mirror and saw Imari-san patting her daughter's head with concern. She looks totally different from how she is at the office. This is her mother's face.
Daddy, you came home.
Her little murmur was drowned out by the sound of a car driving by.
Thank you so much for your help at this hour, and I don't know how to thank you for getting us even to the hospital.
Her checkup result is a cold. They think it might be pneumonia, so she's going to stay in the hospital for one night. We came back to her apartment once while her daughter, Umi, was sleeping. She's planning to get ready and go back to the hospital, so I'm going to stay with her until I take her back to the hospital. No, we should help each other in times of need. Oh, and tomorrow is Friday, and then it's a weekend, so you can take the day off. Just make sure you tell me what you have to do tomorrow. I've managed to finish my work plus her work. It'll take some time, but I'll manage to finish. Well, I guess I won't hear from her anytime soon. We exchanged contact information just in case something happened, but I never heard from her. I hope her daughter's fever have gone down.
Thanks for your help the other day. Thanks to you, her fever went down and she was fine on Sunday.
After the week was over, Imari-san came to work and offered me a sweet treat. Oh, it's okay. You should eat with your daughter.
No, I'm sorry for causing you trouble, and that...
She's kind of brusque.
I was wondering if you could come over to my place again.
What? Is she inviting me to come over?
Umi is mumbling, Daddy, Daddy, all the time, as if she's lonely. Even when she's awake, she's saying, Daddy, where is he? And asks, Daddy's back, isn't he?
She told me that. She explained that her father was working far away and couldn't come home very often.
I wondered why she suddenly started saying that when I had never met her.
So, she thought I was her dad.
Well, you see, I got out of hand asked to see her dad.
Oh, she didn't invite me. Well, yeah, that's right. Oh, fine. But won't she get the wrong idea if I go?
You're right, but she might have mistaken you with her dad.
I guess I'll have to meet her to be sure about that.
I apologize for the inconvenience.
So, I drove to her parents' house to pick up Umi, which I visited the other day.
Ah! It's Daddy!
The moment she saw me next to Imari-san, Umi ran up to me with energy.
I guess it was about Tatano-san after all. Daddy! Daddy!
It's a misunderstanding, but this is kind of cute.
Dad, you're punished! Here! Dad, you left Mom and I alone for a long time, so I punished you for that! Oh, Tatano-san, are you alright? Hey, Umi, a nicely done kick learned from Mom.
That should be a punch, though, and I was in agony for a while in my pathetic state.
I'm sorry. How can I apologize? I'm really sorry.
No, you don't have to get down on your knees like that.
See, Umi, you did something bad too, so apologize. I'm sorry. But it's Dad's fault too. You haven't come to see me for a long time.
I'm not your dad, though. Well, that doesn't mean I should deny it, does it? That's what I was thinking. It would be a shock to a child's mind if the daddy she thought had come back was someone else. Well, I guess it can't be helped. I fold my knees and open my mouth to meet the little girl's eyes. What did Umi want to do when he came back?
Huh? Well, let's see. I wanted him to give me a shoulder lift.
Oh, like this?
It's so high! Mommy looks like she's down there. Oh my, I'm so frustrated. Umi is now taller than me. I was so jealous of other people, but you're going to be with me from now on, right? We're going to have lots of fun together, aren't we, Daddy?
Umi's words made my heart ache. A few days went by with nothing in particular. I heard that Imari-san also explained to Umi that Dad is working again and won't be able to see her for a while. Well, I guess things are back to the way she should be. It seems like Imari-san is feeling anxious when she sees me.
Oh, Tateno-san, what are you doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow? I'll be busy all day Saturday chatting up with sleep.
Oh, I see. You're just sleeping in.
Don't be rude. It's a ritual to meditate, to release all consciousness from the mundane. And the fantasy paradise that unfolds, I shall be filled with bliss.
Yes, so the point is you're just sleeping. You're not busy. Tateno-san, could you please give me some of your time tomorrow?
She said this as we moved to the lobby from our office.
Of course, I will pay you what it costs and I will return the favor.
You mean Umi?
Yes.
Well, that must be all.
I explained to her that he couldn't see her for a while. She said, I don't want my daddy to be gone. I'm going to look for him. She was crying and pleading with me, and yesterday night she opened the front door and tried to run out. I accidentally told her that I'd bring Daddy back soon.
Under the circumstances, I guess I don't have a choice. Okay, just for a day or so tomorrow.
Really? Although I've said that, I'm sorry for all the trouble I've caused you. I've been thinking about it, and I'm sorry that I've been so rude as to make you replace my husband.
Oh, don't worry about it. I seem to like children more than I thought. Besides, I thought it would be nice if Imari-san played the role of my wife.
What is that? Oh my god. What are you talking about?
I'm sorry. What a nerve I have. Well, I like Umi too. And I think it's a good idea to go out with her on my day off.
Then, I'm looking forward to it, Shigure-san.
And so we began to call each other by name. I think my heart was beating naturally. The next day, we arrived at the parents-child Plaza.
Wow! This is the place I wanted to go with Dad!
Were you influenced by the TV commercial or something? It's a proper facility, even though it's called a plaza. There's a small farm, playground equipment, boats, and many other things for parents and children to enjoy.
No, it's not that. It's a friend named Chi-chan showed me a picture of her and her dad at the playground. They're friends from kindergarten.
Kiyomi gives me an earful to follow up.
Then, there were a lot of kids who said they'd been there. I've always wanted to go there too. But Daddy's busy. Sorry, I'm so selfish.
What are you talking about? I lift up Umi, who looked upset with both hands. Whee! Let's have a lot of fun today.
Whee! Daddy, I'm so tall now. Oh my goodness, that's great, isn't it, Umi? Yep.
This is pretty embarrassing.
It's true. Everyone is watching.
The first thing we got on was a mini steam train that moves around the park. Sometimes I see it at events or something, but when I'm in the position to ride it, I feel like everyone is watching me.
That's awesome! Rabbit!
After getting off the steam line, we entered the rabbit petting area that was just in front of us. Umi likes animal, doesn't she?
Yes, she does. Well, not many kids dislike animals. If we could at least have an animal too, I wouldn't have to make her feel a little lonely.
But I guess that's hard to do when living in an apartment. Continuing on, Umi said she wanted to ride the boat, so we rented it.
Ah! Fish!
I rowed the oars slowly and let them enjoy the scenery. It's peaceful. It's nice to have such a time once in a while.
Oh, Shigeru-san, are you okay? Aren't you tired from all the driving and carrying, Umi? Wow, were you that tired? You tired?
It's been 2 hours since we entered the parent-child plaza. My fatigue had already reached its peak.
Well, that's just as well, isn't it? What do you think? Have you found that playing with children is physically demanding?
I know. Carrying a 15-kilogram child in my arms and on my shoulders, my muscles will be sore tomorrow.
That's too much service. You have to let her walk in moderation or you won't be able to take care of yourself.
We both look at Umi happily and scribble at the square.
Thank you. It will be an irreplaceable memory for that girl.
Then, we enjoyed the barbecue that Kiyomi had reserved. After we finished eating, we enjoyed the attractions in the park for as long as we could.
She fell asleep. She must have had so much fun.
I am too. But Kiyomi-san must be exhausted too, right?
Yes, I guess. If I had to work tomorrow, I would have cried.
The sun had completely set, and we were in the car on the way home. We were talking about nothing important. We were about half an hour away from her apartment when I started to talk to her. Kiyomi-san, to be honest, I wasn't sure if I should ask this.
About Umi's real father, right?
I nodded, surprised at how perceptive she was.
I'm embarrassed to say, it's called the mistake of youth. Just one adventure, that's all it took for me to have that girl. We were both college students. He didn't even acknowledge me and ran away from me. After much hesitation and crying, I decided to give birth to Umi. I have no regrets. But I've made Umi feel lonely. I even thought of looking for someone to be my husband, but I was afraid that he would run away again.
I see. I can see why some people call her an out of the league or unapproachable. The reason it was so hard to get close to such a beautiful woman was because she herself had that kind of aura. Soon we arrived at our apartment, and she picked up Umi.
Thank you for today, and I'm sorry about earlier.
No, I'm sorry. I was insensitive to ask.
No, I was talking of my own accord here. And I'm also sorry that I've been lying to Umi for a long time.
I didn't have an answer for that.
A few days after the visit to the parents' square, I pick up my daughter from my parents' house as usual. Hey, Mom! It's open class day for parents. Everyone's daddies are coming too. Open class for parents? I gasped. I looked at the printout that Umi had and saw that it was this Sunday 2 weeks from now. I wondered if Dad would come. Will he come? Of course, Mom too. He won't come. Umi, listen carefully. Shigeru-san is not Umi's real dad. Huh? What? Yes, this is a fact that I have to tell her someday. It's not fair to involve him in our affairs any longer. I have to be honest now, to my daughter and to myself. Mom, don't lie to me! It's not a lie. Shigeru-san is not your dad. Then, where is Daddy? Where is my real daddy? He's my daddy! Daddy is my daddy! He came to see me! I hate you, Mommy! So, my daughter hates me.
I was looking for words with a subtle expression on her face when I heard what happened last night.
Maybe I chose the wrong words, but I had to say it, didn't I?
Even though I was involved, this was a matter between Imari family, and I didn't feel comfortable sharing with them. So, what happened to Umi?
She said she hates her mom and locked herself in a room at my parents' house. I hope time will solve the problem, but since she is only a child...
It's hard to think that this could lead to a heartbreak. At that moment, Kiyomi's phone on her desk told her of an incoming call.
It's from my mother. Huh? What?
Kiyomi looks at the message and instantly turns pale as she did some time back.
Shigure-san, what should I do? Umi is... She left a note saying she'll look for Dad and disappeared.
What? Hey, Umi!
Umi! Where are you?
We managed to convince the chief to let us both take a half day off and head to Kiyomi's parents' house. There were slight tear stains on the paper that said, "Looking for my daddy." She must have been that sad to know that her father is gone. I finally found Umi in a park in the neighborhood, just as the sun was setting. Kiyomi headed her way after I called her.
Thank you, Shigure-san. I'll talk to Umi afterwards.
No, I'll go with you.
Umi, let's go home. Mom! Dad!
Umi looks up at Kiyomi's voice and comes running when she finds me too.
Daddy! It's a lie that Daddy isn't Daddy, isn't it? Daddy is my daddy, right?
Umi, even if I'm not your real dad, do you still want me to be your dad?
Yes, I do, Daddy. I want you to stay by my side. If you're not my daddy, then be my daddy. Having a child says it first. I'm not qualified to be an adult. But thanks to her, I'm ready. Umi, I'm sorry. I should have been the one to tell him. Yes, I know it's my responsibility from here on. Shigeru Tateno-san, if you suddenly have a 4-year-old, it might be difficult. You might have a hard time. But if you still want to, please be my husband. Daddy!
That was a line of confession to me by Imari and her daughter. Are you sure? I'm a 34 years old man.
Yes, I want to be with you because you're Shigeru-san. You're kind and dependable.
I'm glad. I liked Kiyomi-san too, and Umi, of course. I said that and gently hugged her and Umi.
Umi, isn't this great? Dad will not be going anywhere. Yes, Daddy, always together.
And we got registered right away. Why the rush? To attend Umi's open class for parents as official parents. It's a hard world that you can't even enter the school unless you are an official parent or guardian.
Daddy! Mommy! I'm going to draw a picture of you two today. The subject is a picture of your precious family.
I see. I can't wait to see what my daughter draws. Then, half a year after we joined the registry, we had a wedding ceremony, a simple one. It was also our first marriage, and it'll be our only memory for the rest of our lives.
Shigeru-san, if only Umi hadn't gotten a fever that day and you hadn't driven me home. No, I'm sure such an assumption makes no sense. I'm glad you were my first husband.
Yes, let's continue to make a good home for 3 of us. Or even the 4 of us.
Huh? She's not moving. Maybe she's still sleeping. She's still small.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement to make. My wife is pregnant. Umi, who will be a big sister, also puts her ear to my wife's tummy like this every day. I'll have to get a new one painted for this one too.
Yes. Umi, were you draw another picture when you have a little brother or sister? Yes! You can count on me!
May our future be blessed.